Ladies and germs and ball-headed worms, welcome to the Bleaves Crypto Show. We're going to talk about cryptocurrency, what's going on in the market. There's a ton of stuff happening. In fact, today, we've got JP Morgan bringing on-chain data to Solana. We've got new XRP ETF hitting the ground running with 21 shares launching their own. We've got Chainlink breaking out to $20 in the next couple days. We've got a very disappointing Dogecoin launch. We've got $4.5 billion in expiries happening today. That feels like a lot, but it's not. We got all that and more. It's not financial advice, but I'm always right.
It's your boy Bleaves. Everybody listen up. Let's get it. I'm trying to put money in your pocket. That crypto wallet. That bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways, I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 I'm always right.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, smash it like it's Sydney Sweeney. Thank you so much for tuning in. We got a bunch of news to go over today. There's a whole bunch happening in the crypto world. However, it hasn't translated to a massive price surge so far. We happen to be in that Friday right now with the expiries at $4.5 billion, which means that it's a heavy day. It's a difficult day. We're down $8 billion, and the U.S. market is coming online in order to suck the liquidity out of the market because that's what they do. That's who they are. But I keep saying this, yet somehow or another, we're at $3.1 trillion market cap. When I said that the last time, we were at $2.97 trillion market cap. So we found a way to be up about $130 billion over a couple days, but we're not seeing the breakout. By the way, when I say breakout, let me also say that some very wild things are starting to happen with Dev. And the things that are happening right now, there's been some rumors here and there about things that were or could be happening in the markets, that, there's some weird stuff that's been happening, and discreetly, when you look at some of the data, it applies to only one and one only blockchain, and that blockchain is Dev. So I have a feeling something major is about to happen. Will it be the end of this month? That's the question really on everybody's mind. Have they done enough to secure whatever it is that they were looking to do? Or is it just, are we going to be delayed? There's a couple dates, by the way, December 21 being the final date for an approval. So you could be looking at a very surprising Christmas announcement from Dev coming up very, very soon. Folks, don't forget to hit that like button on the way in. Let's get into what's going on. New XRP ETF hits the market with the launch of the 21 shares TOXR. So we have another ETF hitting XRP. The continuation of XRP being exposed to new investors is ramping up, and that's going to mean a huge pump coming at some point down the road. Now, right now, we're in an accumulation phase. Look at the markets, guys. 25 basis point rate cut. Everything that you want to see happening in the market is happening. The rates are coming down. We've got people throwing money into the market, but we've got dumps happening. Why are there dumps happening? And it makes no sense when you look at it on the surface, because you would be asking yourself, like, what is it? Why, if we're getting all of this bullish news, the Clarity Act is about to hit the floor. The Clarity Act has been moved forward. They're pushing the Clarity Act through right now. So perfect storm. Rate cuts, Clarity Act being pushed to the floor for discussion and debate, which before it was in committee. So why are we not incredibly bullish? ETFs continue to see massive inflows. Why are we not bullish? Market makers, guys, it's very simple. Market makers are trying to keep this market suppressed. They're trying to keep it down because of something to come later. And we don't know exactly what that is, but let's take one step forward and say the Federal Reserve has now committed $40 billion to Treasury buybacks over the next 30 days. That is pumping enormous amounts of liquidity into the U.S. markets. And when money is pumped into the U.S. markets for the purpose of liquidity, then that means that risk assets are going to start to pump. Okay, there is a perfect storm happening right now, and it is being suppressed by market makers. So be watching, because at some point, here's what's going to happen. Okay, when you have this perfect storm, the sellers eventually are going to get tired. The sellers will understand that if they're not doing it for pure manipulation purposes, then it's going to slow down. They're going to realize, hey, we're going to make more if the price go up. And they will sit back and they will let this market pump to the moon. We are almost there, in fact. I can feel it, and I hope you can feel it too, because it seems to me like there is something massive going on in these markets. And look, you never know how this is going to end. You never know what these ghouls and goblins, and I love saying that, by the way, but what these ghouls and goblins are going to do. You never really know until you see it actually play out live. But I would get the sense, I would get the feeling that there has to be some kind of big move in this market coming. Like I can feel it. I think everybody can feel it. I don't know what just happened there. Oh my God. Not sure exactly what that was. Ugh. All right, we got to pop out the chat though real quick, because I, like a dum-dum, forgot to get the chat set up. So let's see what's going on in chat this morning. And by the way, I hope you guys like the background music. I put new background stuff in there, so hopefully it's kind of cool. What is going on? Good morning to Latama. Good morning to Vader Prime. Gnome Cyan. Happy Friday. Good morning. J Manuel, good morning. Good morning to Roy G. George Lopez, good morning. And Meat, what is going on, my man? And Derek Hine, I can feel the BS. Well, maybe you can. If you can, sorry. Look, I understand people are frustrated. I understand that you're frustrated by the market conditions. I understand that you want it to go so much higher. We all want it to go so much higher. But these things work in cycles. And unfortunately, one of the cycles that we have to deal with is morons. Morons who are trying to keep the prices down. So hopefully that'll change very, very soon. So, but let's get into Bitcoin price predictions. We've got some predictions right now of where the market is going to go. Bitcoin price remained above 92,000, trading at 92,400 at the time of writing. It's risen 2% in the last 24 hours. A very nice flow. However, what we're looking for is the break above to 96 to 97,000, so that we've got some back testing confirmation around this 92,000 level. Bitcoin is currently on the test of the 92 to 94 resistance level. When the bulls are able to break through this level, it may lead to a rise to 100,000. So that's what we're looking to see play out right now. And by the way, this is exactly what I keep showing you guys. There are levels to this. We are looking for a break above. He says 98,000. I'll go with that. But I think 91.4 is the real spot right now. We continue to stay above that, and we continue to be bullish. But again, I think we need that break above. We need the break out a little bit. Then we need that back test for confirmation of a support level. And then we start to see a big rally. So I would suspect that we're going to see that coming up very, very soon. Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP. prices are continuing to start a pump back up towards the upside. So let's, fingers crossed, see what happens going forward. In other news, JP Morgan is bringing on-chain debt to Solana. JP Morgan has carried out a $50 million tokenized commercial paper transaction for Galaxy Digital, using the Solana blockchain to complete one of the earliest public chain debt issuances in the United States. Coinbase and Franklin Templeton purchased the securities, which represent Galaxy's inaugural commercial paper issue and the debut of its on-chain USCP token. To execute the deal, JP Morgan created the digital instrument natively on Solana and arranged settlement through a delivery versus payment mechanism. The bank confirmed that all cash movements for both issuance and redemption occur in USDC. So a big move for Solana, a big move for JP Morgan. Remember, Jamie Dimon famously threatened people that he would fire anybody who was telling you to get into crypto, and guess what? Now he's got you getting into crypto. By the way, chat, how is the background music? How is the background music? I hope it's not too loud. I tried to put a little bit of back into this, so if you can hear it, it's my theme song, just being played on a loop. I hope it's not obtrusive, and I hope that it's not annoying you. So moving on here, crypto today. Bitcoin and Ethereum aim for recovery. XRP holding key support. We're still watching right here. XRP remains above $2. That's what we're watching. And Ethereum above 3,200. Bitcoin above 92,000. Those are the numbers that we're watching right now, hoping that we don't see that downward momentum. Now we're down $13 billion on the day. Again, the U.S. market opened up this morning. This was an opportunity for the U.S. market to really start to sizzle a little bit. The rest of the world has been in positive. Look at this upflow the entire, since last night, since around 11 o'clock last night. We had a little bit of a dip in that market. Remember, we were watching this play out, and then boom, we had this nice little uptrend right here, coming back into it. And as the U.S. market comes online, we got a big red candle, because that's just USA. And, you know, hopefully something's going to happen to the positive for the day, but, you know, fingers crossed. Chainlink price breaks towards $20 after 84,000 link reserve increase. So for those of you keeping track at home, Chainlink has launched its own ETF. We have an ETF right now. DTCC, this is the big deal right here. This is the big thing that applies to Dev as well. DTCC tokenization progress strengthens long-term confidence in Chainlink's ecosystem. Now, DTCC just got a, right here, SEC approval to launch a tokenization service. The Depository Trust and Clearing Corporation has secured a major regulatory milestone after its subsidiary, the DTC, received a no action letter from the SEC allowing it to offer a new tokenization service for DCC custody assets. The authorization enables DTC to begin rolling out the services in the second half of 2026. Are you paying attention yet? Highly liquid traditional securities, including constituents with the Russell 1000, ETF tracking major indices, and U.S. Treasuries, will be eligible to be tokenized on pre-approved blockchains under the same legal protections and investor entitlements as their conventional form. Now, one of the things that was included in this, which I'm not going to show you because I don't have access to it, I only saw like a clip of the data. Fraud protection prevention was one of the requirements for it. And the only place that's offering you that fraud protection that is required is Dev. So I think this is a very good sign that second half of 2026, NASDAQ, DTCC partnered with NASDAQ, Dev kind of in that mix. Everything, every sign is still pointing right now to the fact that Dev is probably the blockchain of record here, with instantaneous settlements, with fraud protection and prevention. Guys, it's gonna be absolutely crazy. And not only will it be crazy for Dev, I'm not even calling that. This is all about Link right now. Reserves hit 1.13 million Link after an 84,000 boost, reinforcing $20 expectations. Chainlink price presents a clearer setup after weeks of compressed movement. Link developed stronger candles along the channel midline, and every reaction was better as buyers intervened sooner. Meanwhile, valuation of Link sits at $13.97, looking for a shift up towards that $20 range. And by the way, don't forget, we've got an ETF that was launched this week on Chainlink with Glink Actually, it was last week. With Glink, we've got a couple weeks, and then we probably are going to see a crazy, crazy blow off. And by the way, this all corresponds to times where I think we're starting to see. And by the way, I think most of the time, let me go back here, take a step back. Most of the time in these markets, when we're looking at stuff happening, we're looking at timing. And timing towards the end of the year is you sell off your assets, you take your losses so that you don't have to pay it as a tax. Okay, so you got something that you put $1,000 into and it went to zero. Now you pull your holding, you take your loss, you report it for December as a tax write-off, or you take profits out in order to pay your tax bill. One way or another, there's a lot of bearish pressure hitting the markets in December. Well, because that is so obvious, and because October and November are moments where you see magnificent pumps generally, and we saw this suppressed movement, while at the same time the M2 money supply continues to spike, the US money supply continues to spike, the Fed is still cutting rates, everything that could be bullish is still bullish, but we're not moving. So I suspect that we're going to see something crazy happen towards the end of December, and all of these little pieces are starting to line up. All these ETFs, which were delayed, and by the way, part of that could be the government shutdown. The government shutdown was one of the longest in history at 44 or 45 days. So we lost a month and a half, and during that month and a half, we had bad results in the crypto market. So I suspect that we're going to see something real positive happening over the next couple of days as we start to see this market reverse and start to press forward. Now, all things are not great, however, because Dogecoin ETF fails to attract capital despite hype as experts maintain a $1 price for 2026. Now, what happened? Doge products from both Bitwise and Grayscale have not yet been able to live up to investor expectations. According to data from December 7 to 9, there were no new fund inflows. Nobody is buying Dogecoin right now. And by the way, I got a video coming out in a little while. If you guys didn't notice, I've got shorts that I've been working on. I had a new strategy, a new idea that I wanted to implement, and that includes a lot of different shorts and stuff like that. So you're going to see a short coming out about meme coins in just a little while on this channel, and I'm basically calling meme coins dead at this moment. And if you look at the data right now, there are things that are popping. You could see like trolls up 17% on the day. All meme coins are not dead. However, when you look at it by market capitalization, things change dramatically. You go to memes over here and look at this over the course of a year. I mean, just, you had this really nice run from Meme Core right here at 2,500%, and you had the Trump meme coin that's up 3x right now. But I mean, start to go down this list. Pippin had a nice little rally. Toshi, a nice little rally. This absolutely Chinese meme coin over here that I have no idea is up 113% right now, because those were the hot items. And you got Rabita by Virtuals. But look at it. These are micro caps. Okay, these are micro caps. As you go down this list, you'll find that for this go to 60 million market cap, Dogecoin, which previously had, again, it's down 50%. It had a $40 billion market cap to start the year off, and it is now down 55%. Shiba Inu, which at one point had about a $10 billion market cap, is down at $5 billion market cap right now. Pepe, which has right now a $1.8 billion, had a $4 billion market cap or $3 billion market cap. $3.5 billion market cap at that point. Everything with a massive market cap has absolutely tanked. So the meme coin markets are absolutely wrecked, okay? And what's happening in the meantime, everybody's buying new meme coins. What we're doing right now is you basically have 24 to 48 hours on a meme coin. If you happen to get lucky enough to buy one and it pumps up 10, 20x, like you've actually won the lottery at this point, because within days, that meme coin is going to suffer and it's going to dump, and then people are just going to walk away and go to the next one because they call them chefs. Okay, that's what they call them. They say that the chefs are cooking. Those chefs are liquidity extractors whose sole purpose is to steal money from you by creating project after project after project after project after project, and then just trying to get you. And by the way, they want you to win. By the way, you know, if you're a friend, for example, if you've got somebody who launches meme coins, stuff like that, they want you to win because you're their friend, right? They want to win even more. They want you to win. But beyond that, the reason that they want, the way that they want you to win is by extracting liquidity and selling the top on other people that are getting attracted into the project. That's the rub that should rub people the wrong way, to be fair. But that is the game. That's the game right now. That's exactly what people are doing. That's the way that this market is working right now. So, you know, and by the way, if that's your game, if that's the way you like it, I mean, whatever, bro. Make sure you hit that like button, by the way, on the way in. I appreciate that. So, meme coins, absolutely destroyed. I mean, I mean, look around. For every 2,500% up to 2 billion market cap, I mean, for all of those, look at how down everything else is. You will rapidly see that beyond some of these absolutely insane pumps like Go Home, stuff like that, beyond these insane little mini pumps here where every once in a while something breaks out and has a good run, there are so many other ones with high market caps that are just getting obliterated. And it continues to happen. So Doge, basically meme coins right now, absolutely dead. They will stop on a dime and they will start reversing very, very quickly. Also, what's next for the crypto market is 4.5 billion in Bitcoin, Ethereum options expire today. Traders are bracing for huge volatility due to crypto options expiry amid rising uncertainty with outflows in spot Bitcoin and Ethereum ETFs as compared to Ethereum. Bitcoin options open interest is still higher as crypto market participants expect Bitcoin price to reclaim 100,000. Also, lucky solo Bitcoin miner beats 1 in 82 year odds to win 285,000 block reward. A solo Bitcoin miner beat the odds around 1 in 30,000 per day on average to solve a block and take home the total subsidy and transaction fee reward. The Bitcoin miner earned 284,633 for mining block 927,474 using CK pool in a solo mining configuration. A solo Bitcoin miner absolutely got the win, 283,000. Congratulations to miner that ends in VOQZ. 270th for solving the 311th solo block at solockpool.org. So shout out to this guy, just made himself a cool $250,000 unlocking and unblocking, if you will. Also, Pith has launched a token buyback program allocating 33% of its DAO treasury to monthly Pith purchases, which are going to be used as buybacks. That's a really good look, taking money out of the supply. You can't argue with that. That's going to create more. That's going to create more demand because you're going to have less Pith on the market, which could increase price over the long term. So fingers crossed, hoping to see that play out. Also on Kobayashi, gold futures extended their gains above 4,380, now up 65% year to date. By the way, broke out in the last few hours. Looking at gold GLD right here, other than this hourly right here showing this breakdown, if you look at on the daily, look at that run right there. Gold all the way up to 43.53, having a new all-time high, or getting close to the new all-time high as it's breaking out one more time as people flee fiat currency and move into gold as a store of value. And eventually that money, by the way, does come over into Bitcoin, because don't forget, traders are hedging and they're looking for opportunities, right? Right now, you see this absolute banger of a move, and then the question becomes, what happens later on? Rotation of liquidity as the rotation moves over to where we are right now. Also, 10-year bond yields still sitting, looks like they've rallied a little bit, so That's not great for the U.S. market, and U.S. money supply continuing an upward trend, although the market now dipping down $35 billion yet again today. A U.S. market, a taker, not a maker. Nothing hit on the bull market peak indicators. I know the frustration is getting there, guys, but I assure you that we're getting towards the end. TerraCasino.io for all your risk-based gaming needs. TerraPort.finance if you want to buy a meme coin or a utility coin. In discussion with that, Do Kwon sentenced to 15 years in prison. Absolute craziness. Do Kwon going to be serving a lot of time in prison. Now, looking at the market on the 1 day right now, mostly in the green, despite the fact that we're seeing that drawdown in the market. I'm going to hit the refresh button here because it doesn't seem right the way that it's lining up. I mean, I guess maybe it is. Doesn't feel right. The timing on this is probably... the timing on that is probably not right. Let me... Music backer. All right, let me see if I can... I think I put the volume on it pretty down to make sure that it wasn't too high. Yeah. There you go. It's going to be up just a little. I just turned it up a little bit. We're going to leave it right there. So anyway, Solana up a little bit on the day. Mantle up... Mint, god damn it. Mantle up 8.5%. That's about it. Luna Classic down 12% on the day. Again, you know, I thought that Luna Classic was starting to have a little bit of a recovery from the area that I told you it was going to go to. A matter of fact, we're going to move through. We're going to talk about that. Fear and Greed Index sitting at 29 right now. Liquidity still looks like it's on the bottom side. We're going to go to the symbol over here. We're going to refresh on the hourly because we're now seeing an attack into that liquidity pool right there. Next liquidity pool is up in the 94,000 range at around 93,850. So I suspect we're going to see a reversal in the short term, in the 48-hour, probably targeting 89,100 right now. There's a lot of money sitting right there at the bottom, right below it. Yeah, we're going all the way down here, 89,100. There is just a ton of capital kind of sitting in that range right now. But after that, then it's smooth sailing all the way up to the top. It is time for bears to get knocked the fuck out. Like that's where we are right now. It is time for these guys to get absolutely knocked out. So I suspect we're going to see a move coming up very, very soon. Bitcoin ETF flows 77 million to the out. Ethereum yesterday had 42 million outflow. XRP had inflows totaling 16 million again today, and the Solana ETF had flows of 11 million coming in today. So a pretty good overall day. Now let's get into the charts right here. We're now down $51 billion as the goblins and ghouls of the U.S. market continue to suck liquidity like it's made of dick. Just goddamn, man, these people are shameless scumbags. Shameless scumbags. And by the way, this is a liquidity move. Don't forget, because the reason for this volatility is very simple. Leverage positions. Everybody has become a gambler. That's what this means. When you're gambling in the market, you get wrecked in the market. Your reward is your money gets taken from you. I mean, we can be honest, right? That's what it is. So let's see what happens over the next little while. Bitcoin breaking down below 92,000 where it was just a little while ago. This here, right here at 89,000 right there, I suspect if you're going to see an opportunity right here, set yourself a buy at around 89,100 right in the bottom of this range right here, and look for a swing back up here. I keep telling you that it's happening, right? And it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. Now it's coming back up. Didn't go all the way up, but it's about to go back down, it looks like, and then back up again. So guys, I would be looking at, this is a great opportunity to accumulate. Just continue to buy yourself some more Bitcoin because it is about to absolutely send. Now, Ethereum also breaking down. I suspect we're going to see a move. Again, everything looks to me pretty positive in the overall scheme of things. I believe that we're going to have what I told you here was a breakdown down into this range right here at around 3,100, somewhere in that range at least. And then we're going to have a big spike reversal off of that, taking us up to the 200 MA on Ethereum. So I still think that's in play. Solana, too much good news for Solana for this to be where we are. Okay, unless it's manufactured, that's it. Unless it's manufactured, and it is manufactured. Okay, they are selling off into it. This is institutions stealing from you, basically. I mean, that's, you know, USA, USA, USA. But this right here is going to be the next move, right there in that 220 range. Beyond that, I don't know. Now, if it takes a little bit longer, I suspect that it won't. Okay, I don't suspect that it's going to take very long. I think we're going to have just absolute crazy blow off here coming up very, very soon. Right now, we're ending the year. We're feeling that burn, and you know, we'll see what happens from there. Tau, it's really the same thing. New Tau videos coming out, by the way. I tried some new stuff, and we'll see. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. Dev is at 30 cents right now. Again, money just kind of leaking out day in and day out. And listen, there is huge news happening for anybody who pays attention like some of us do, right? There's so much going on in this market right now that it's insane, that really directly revolves around Dev that we don't know yet because they're very, very quiet and they're not saying anything. This is going to be one of those epic journeys, one of those epic runs that are happening right now. Let's get to chat here real quick. Do you think Ethereum will still hit 7,000? And if, what do you think timeline is? Probably February or March. Listen, for those of you that are looking for, whatever that breakout move is going to be, and mine, by the way, is still 6,000, not 7,000. Morganator. Or is it Morgan? Morgan. So I don't have the confidence in 7,000. Everybody else does. My number was 6,000, which was right there. 167 Ethereum to be a millionaire at 6K. Now, other people are telling me that I need to be more bullish and that it's going to go between 7 and 8,000. I don't see it, but other people do. So I did put that box there a while back, but I don't think so. I think 6,000 is going to be the cap for Ethereum going through this market. I don't see more. I just don't. And by the way, I mean, I apologize if that offends anybody. There's too much dilution. There's too much dilution right now. So I just lowered my expectation to about 6,000 on Ethereum, which I still think is going to be a fantastic number, and it's still going to be enough to create an absolute banger of an altcoin season. Just need to see it actually play out. And by the way, the more it goes, if I'm wrong and it goes to 7,000 or 8,000, that's going to be an even bigger blow off in altcoin season. So, yeah, I mean, it could be something crazy. But in the meantime, there's an opportunity to scoop up some API 3 at a discount. Aster is down to 93 cents. The $10 thing, wink, wink, Jake Gagan. Arrow down to 60 cents. Perfect opportunity to accumulate right there, down 4% on the day. But we don't really have any positive stuff in the market. I mean, Luna Classic still breaking down. I told you guys exactly what was going to happen on Terra Luna Classic. What I told you was going to happen on Terra Luna Classic is happening exactly as I told you on Terra Luna Classic. So that's me right now taking my victory lap. I told you that the most likely play out right here was going to be a breakdown below here, most likely into this range. I draw it out a little bit more and said that it was probably going to come down here, and then we're going to get that breakout back above. But there's a breakdown about halfway through, about 70% correction. So on Fibonacci, so breaking itself back up here, we're going to find out what happens at this 382. The 382 is going to be at 406. So I suspect we're going to see a move up there, and then we'll figure out whether or not it's going to go up or down, one or the other. Duh, of course, but I mean, you never really know. Zebek Network selling off kind of hard. I had a $5 long on this one, and it looks like I'm just going to get wrecked on that one because this market. I mean, look, At this point, short the market, because these goblins, they are trying to steal everything. They don't want you here, by the way. I mean, they don't want you here at this price right now. What they want is they want you to get shaken out so that they can buy a little bit cheaper. Then they can say, oh, you know what? Market's going to go up now. And then you FOMO back in, and then you become their exit liquidity. That is the standard on it. You should be accumulating on these dips. You should be buying more on these dips. That's the way that it works. And that's how you end up making the money. When there's fear in the market, you should be buying up, because there's going to be greed in the market at some point very, very soon. And when that greed hits, then they're going to make a ton of money. You should too. Anyway, we're going to cut the short. We're going to cut the show early. So thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you guys. Again, we're making some changes here. We're doing some new stuff. We're going to keep going and keep doing some new stuff over the next bunch of days. As you guys know, I did hire a manager for the channel, so things are changing on a moment's notice. That's why all the shorts are popping out now. You're going to see a lot more shorts and stuff like that. We're going to be covering XRP every day. We're going to be covering Ondo every day. We're going to be covering a bunch of different projects on a daily basis in shorts, just so you guys know exactly what's going on in the market. Going to become a more full-featured channel over the next couple of months. So thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, it's not financial advice. I'm always right. I appreciate each and every one of you. The easiest thing for you to do, or the best thing that you can do to help me, if you want to help me, aside from becoming a member of the channel, share this content with people. Make sure that you are hitting that share button, share it on X, share it everywhere, and leave a comment down below. That helps me out tremendously. The reason that it helps me out is because it's more engagement. You hit that like button, you leave a comment down below, and then more people see it, and it pushes it up in the algorithm.